Good morning, everyone. Happy, very hot Wednesday here in the great Northwest and South and East. And oh my goodness, wow, 40 degrees Celsius here yesterday. I'm Dr. Lori Davis, and you're about to watch the Today Show. And on Wednesdays, we feature wellness. And I'm wearing my muscle shirt today because those of you that are familiar with Yellowstone, oh my goodness, on the front of my shirt it says, "Don't make me Beth Dutton you." And if you're a Yellowstone fan, you know exactly what that means. And I want to grow up and be just like her. Anyway, it's hot, so we're dressing cool. And also, today we're going to welcome back Dr. Debbie Love, and she's going to talk to us again about self-defense for us women and young girls as part of our staying safe and staying well. And if you recall last week, challenges with the technology. So I invited her back to continue her presentation and to share with us some beautiful techniques that are so easy and so simple. We can actually do this. So just that's it for today. And I don't want to waste any more of Debbie's time. And I'm going to just bring her on here right now and welcome her to the show. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
I better not be bragging about my heat. What is it like Coachella Valley, California, Debbie?
You know, it doesn't. It's hardly getting below 90 degrees even at night. Yesterday, I think it was up to 118. It got to 123 a couple days ago. And it's not it's not cooling down. It's just hot. It's hard to be outside.
Yeah. Well, we can't go out in the winter and you can't go out in the summer. So I think we're evened out there. Level playing field, right?
Perfect couple.
Yes, exactly. All right. I love your top. Is that an official sort of exercise outfit you're wearing there?
No, actually somebody gave it to me. I believe it's something that you ride a bike shirt.
Isn't that neat?
A bicycle.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Nice.
I've had it for 3 years. I didn't know there were pockets in the back.
I see. Well, it looks fabulous on you. Looks wonderful. So let's just give a little summary again of those people in the audience who maybe are just seeing you for the very first time. And we always have to allow for that because, of course, the shows are archived. And right now we're streaming live, Debbie, on the Lori Davis Facebook page, YouTube, 2 channels there, the Disability Channel. Some of our shows go to Your Home TV. We're now on Twitter and LinkedIn. I mean, we're just all over the place right now. So, yeah. So there will be people who pick up the show at their convenience. They may not be watching right now, but we have the bulk of our viewers watch the show later on when they're off work or cruising through YouTube, etc. So let's just have a little background, just so everybody knows who you are. And you're a black belt in karate, and you've been in this business for a while, and sharing your information with vulnerable women and young girls, and that's your passion. So over to you to fill in those blanks.
Thank you. Yes, so I am Debbie Love, and my reasons for doing what I do is tragic, but it really gives out an important piece of information. So it was back in 88, and my cousin, who is exactly my size, ran out of gas going home late at night. And just 2 miles from her house, wealthy neighborhood. Anyway, she made a mistake, but she never came home. But it was a simple mistake. She went home like a lot of us do, with a wing and a prayer, praying that we don't run out of gas. That is so easy to fix. So, that part is bad. It's just a situation. She ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time. But it was because of that that led me to where I am. I started going to self-defense classes and realized that men who could get both of my wrists in one hand, how can they be teaching me self-defense? Because I have little hands, little arms. I never made 5 feet tall, and I'm under 100 pounds. So I think me teaching girls, teenagers who are oftentimes taller than me, but me teaching them is good because they can see that somebody who is small can defend themselves. But it's really about doing the unexpected, being tricky, and absolutely not just going along with something because you were told to. We were brought up to be very nice girls. Girls are brought up to be sweet, nice, and polite. Well, that's got to stop because we need to be able to say no and mean it. And if we're not listened to, be able to act. So, because my instructors for almost 30 years now knew the purpose of my getting into martial arts was to learn self-defense. Every time something would come up that they would say, this is self-defense, Deb, don't miss it. This is doing this is self-defense. Let me show you what it does. So they were always watching my back and giving me the little secrets and the tips and the this and the that I did not see because I didn't have the experience. Now I'm more experienced and still sometimes don't see it. But because it can be hidden within movements. So it has been almost 30 years. I'm a 4th-degree black belt and certified instructor in karate. But I don't want to teach that. I want to teach girls self-defense. I want to teach it almost like you would train someone in karate. You go 3 or 4 days a week and you train, but without the formalities, the bowing, without the gi or the uniform and the belt, but just learning what we need to know instead of the blocks and the this and the that. So that's what I want girls to, that's what I want to do. If you're looking at my vision, is to do this all over in every school. I want girls to know from middle school on what is and what isn't right. Just to give you an example, a young girl in a middle school was dragged by 2 boys into the bathroom because there was a rumor going around that she stuffed her bra. Well, her reputation after this incident, she's the one that got in trouble, not the boys, because boys will be boys. Yeah, that statement goes a long way for them. The girl was, she had to take a few days off of school, and her reputation was hurt for years and years and years. They got boys will be boys. And so girls need to know what to do, what to touch, because they were close enough for her to hurt them. So let's talk about what you could do that's up close and personal, where nobody would have any idea that you're doing what you're doing. So if you go in here into the jaw area and just kind of behind the ear and push, that's a pressure point. That will make somebody get away from you as quickly as they can. There's other places around there too. Anywhere on the neck is very sensitive. Up underneath the tongue, that's when you're really in tight and close, and you need something to be able to do to get them to stop or to get away. So there's a lot of situations that we as girls get ourselves into that is not our fault. Um, I, I, I don't really know, except for parents raising their girls just to be too polite.
Mhm.
That girls don't, and I was the same way. I never said anything. Boys took advantage of me, as they did. I'm sure all the girls.
Mhm. When
And
you, yeah,
yes,
before you show us another technique, you mentioned something to me before the show called the rape culture. I have
yes,
never heard that term. Can you share something about that with us?
sure. Yes, I
On the heels of you sharing that situation where that girl was dragged into that bathroom, and so the rape culture.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
rape culture, and there's a book out there, but um, it's the lines are constantly blurred. You know, when you're dealing with sex and violence, right? Because sex can turn into violence. Well, the dominant message in rape culture um, is eventually women will give in to the no, no, no's so that they become a yes. And boys, through their peers or their elders, are um, are kind of told that it's normal to have to convince a girl to have sex with them, and repeated small violations on that girl is acceptable. You know, small violations for boundaries is truly an acceptable way to do so. Perhaps it's even the only way. So they do these. And this is almost like every experience that I experienced back in high school. I mean, I remember each and every one of them. And that's the way, even back then, it would be done. Small violations. I didn't want him to touch me here. I didn't want him to touch me here. No, no, no's. And they would do it anyway. Um, so that is what rape culture has done. And then you take that into, um, you know, where you're not even safe in a church or synagogue truly anymore. And I don't mean on a Sunday afternoon church service. I'm talking, you know, you've got problems with men of authority, priests, whether or not they are, you know, in charge of the youth group. You got to question these people who are always part of youth groups, always
Yeah.
camp counselors. There's a reason they're there, and they're very good with people. They know how to talk to kids. They are. It's almost like they have been groomed in our grooming. So it's um, it's important to notice things. It's important to get people's backgrounds and try to figure out why they do what they do. Um, but it's still true that teenage girls are the most victimized segment of our population. And that's scary. They're teenage girls, the most victimized segment, and they're the least likely to tell anyone or report anything. So they they go on living with this that's happened to them. We all do. Um, but isn't it time for that to stop? Isn't it time?
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
you know, my generation, you know, my mother and I didn't talk about those things and that was typical.
Yes.
I had a son. I did not have a daughter. I had a son, and I did talk to him about things. And I know he's a very respectful kid, as everybody believes theirs is. But you girls, for one thing, need somebody that they can talk to and trust, a confidant
Hmm.
for those situations that happen. Like if they went to their Aunt Laurie
Hmm.
and you know, maybe there's a tear rolling down her eye. What's on your mind, honey? Well, I can't tell anybody. Well, you can tell me. I would never tell anybody. I would never tell a soul. I would never tell your mother, your father. I would never tell anyone. But please, you know, Get it off your chest. Tell someone. Tell me. And be there for her. Whatever she says, believe her.
Oh, isn't that a big factor?
Yes, the problem is girls tend to not be believed. What do they think? I don't know why that is, except that yeah, maybe one or two, you know, have been either they weren't the truth or the girls ended up backing out of their story because it was no one would believe them. And
Right.
it's obvious with it, you're not believed. I mean, just watch a Law and Order, SVU.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I had my own experience, and I didn't share it with my parents because I knew my mom probably wouldn't believe me because she would have said, "Well, he wouldn't have ever done anything like that."
Exactly.
And my dad, I didn't want him to get the gun and go kill the guy and go to jail, so I never told anybody for like decades.
True. And I didn't either. I until I started doing this did I ever say anything about any experience I had as a
Yeah.
kid. None of them.
See,
And so, but supposedly, this is what I understand is men who do this fear two things. They fear getting caught and getting hurt. Well, if that's the truth, and I don't know if teenagers would have those feelings, but I know criminals do. So that should be your way. Your when you think of that, it's time to fight and scream and yell, and you do everything that you can. And when you do, one of the things that I had to be taught when I became a black belt, and I asked my sensei is, what could my cousin have done? Uh, I even as a black belt, I could not figure out how she could have gotten away. And it took one of them saying, "Hey, Debbie, where's your head?" Excuse me, sensei, this is not a time to get cute, but that's not what he was doing. He was literal because they had picked her up from behind. So her arms were down and all she could do was wiggle. It was picked up from behind. Well, I explained that to him. They said, come on, let's do it. And when I'm picking me up from behind and I'm doing it probably exactly what she was doing. And I'm a black belt. I've got my gi on and everything that day. And I'm doing it. And I go, where's your head, Debbie? Where's your head? Kept repeating it. I don't. What they were trying to tell me was just a headbutt back. And every time somebody picks you up that way, they pick you up by the way so that they can get you. And your arms are stuck down. You're right in line. Your head is right in line with that nose. You know what it takes? It takes such a little tap to break a nose or to at least injure it. And it did not come to me. That's why I was experienced, but we don't practice headbutts. We don't do headbutts. There's not one rule that talks about a headbutt. So it didn't come to me. I'm not a guy. I don't do these things naturally. Put a ball in my hand, I'm good. But I don't know something to do with my body naturally. So it's all in the way you think and you move, a vulnerable part that you could go for. And again, that's the neck is a very vulnerable area behind the ear. Even if you can, using this part of your hand and going up under the nose. That's a good one, the jaw. Or if you find that your arms are caught in between you and your attacker person, or the person, it could be your date. You just want them to stop whatever they're doing. If your hands get stuck in between, consider the back of your wrist. If you will notice the bone, this back here is a very hard bone. This is a subtle, small movement, whether or not it's down, it gets stuck, which happened to me several times when I was a kid, stuck in between you two, where the package would have been right there, right? Or going up at the neck or the nose, somewhere that just a little push, just a little something with that hard bone would hurt something immediately. There are a lot of techniques that women can do, that places you can go into. If you can't pop those ears, yeah, they say go for the eyes. That's hard to do. I would say for anybody, that's hard to do. But there's little things that you can do where you can make them easier to think of. For instance, you're listening to a jazz record, you're listening to some music, and your hand's going like this. This is either this, could either be this, just doing this. Because each time you do that, you're getting a little stronger with your fingers. And when you really make a motion to snap, you're getting more coordinated every time you do it. You're getting better, louder, quicker every time you do it, right? This is an eye rake. Do you know what happens when somebody goes towards your eyes? They have to back up. I mean, because that's a natural response. If I went like that towards your eyes, just like I was going to just rake them, not point, just rake. Just go towards them. Go towards that nose eye area. With your hand, they will be backing up. And the thing is, yeah.
Wow.
Right. And
I'm going to start practicing that.
I do things, I'm doing this all day. And it also helps. Let's say I've got something in my hand. It also helps with this. When I'm doing this, like I'm throwing a frisbee.
Yeah.
It's, if you think of these little movements you do when you're dancing, these could help you with self-defense. Dancing, for instance, if you enjoy dancing, shuffling, if I want to get closer to you to do something, all I want to do is shift. It's just a shuffle. Actually, it's a shuffle. Or if I want to create distance, I'm going to back up. So if I'm going forward, my front foot moves first. The other one kind of drags with it. If I want to go backwards, I move the back one first and the front goes with it. Almost like a hop. But it's all part of dancing. When we dance, we're moving our hands and we're moving we're moving our body. A lot of things are just body position. So to give you an example, if you're thrown on the ground for any reason by a guy, well, there will be a reason, but if you end up falling on a 45-degree angle instead of flat on your back, if he tries to mount you, when you're flat on your back and he tries to mount you, to get him off, you're lifting all of his weight. And when you're my size, that's not going to be easy. When you're a woman, it's not going to be easy. We don't have the muscle structure that a guy does, unless we're wearing muscle shirts. But I digress. But if you end up being thrown on the ground and fall on an angle, all you would do when he tries to mount you, which he can't, all you would be doing is deflecting him off. So in other words, if you can see me,
yes, we can see you.
So if I'm like this, I'm having to push him straight off. Not good. Not good for me. But if I end up on an angle, he comes towards me, all I'm doing is deflecting. He cannot get on top. So, it's just it's little things. If you carry a pen, you've got a weapon.
Mm-hmm. So before we get into your weapons, which I know you're going to share with us.
Well, it's a few, yeah.
We're going to take a little just commercial break. And we're going to take 30 seconds, get our breath, and come back and join Debbie. She's going to show us some more tricks and be ready to move. And I'm sharing this, Debbie, because Monday we launched our advertising campaign to support the show with people who have a product, a program, a book, an event they want to advertise. And we've made it so economically feasible for small business owners, etc., to advertise and promote their products, programs, and services on the Today Show. So this would give you an idea of how long it takes for 30 seconds to go by. And what could you say in 30 seconds about what you do? Now, I was on a long trip here a couple of weeks ago. I had a 14-hour drive, and I was listening to my music in my car, but they would take little 30-second breaks. And there was like a little timer on the screen. And I practiced. It was hard to get a 30-second elevator speech into 30 seconds. But when you're watching this little break, it's quite a bit of time, and you can actually say a lot in 30 seconds. So let's just have a look at what that might look like. For today, it's snowflakes going up in the air, but this could be anybody out there who's watching. We broadcast 6 shows a week, 1 every day, 2 on Tuesday, and they're going everywhere, and we have no idea who may see your product, program, or service. So here we go. Welcome back, everyone. You're watching the Today Show. I'm Dr. Lori Davis, your host, and my beautiful guest today, Dr. Debbie Love. And we are talking about, because Wednesday is all about wellness. Now, I know people say, well, health is number one. But personally, as a senior now, safety is number one. And health will be looked after as well. But a lot of times we don't realize that we're doing things that are very unsafe. So that's where Debbie comes in with her expertise and sharing today with us a few tips and techniques. And I love the elbow one. We might review that one too, for people who don't know about how powerful this is. And
very powerful.
Right. So back over to you, Debbie, for your next share.
Well, let's see if people want to get up and move a little bit, because when we're in a rough situation, it's hard to remember stuff. So just moving your body in the most natural way gives you the most power you can get. So if you start with thinking about what if you were in a pool and you're just doing freestyle, if you do it on the ground, right? Your body is you can have your body move or not move, right? If you were in a pool, your body would be moving like this, because your body would make sure you're getting the most power or it's using its fuel as best it can. And you've got the backstroke too, same difference. If I want to cross the center line back here, if I want to do it correctly, my body has to move. But when we're on the floor, we're standing, we tend to not move our body. Moving your body is very important, because it's your core, it's your dantian. It's right in here where your power is. You won't see a martial artist do something out here. They're going to always be right in front. Always, no matter what's going on, their body is going to be right where their hands are. And that's where they work from. So anything I do, I want to be right in front of it or pivot to it. Right. So that's one of the most important things to know. If you are with your elbows, hugely important. So we've got a lot of elbows. But one that's very popular, very useful, is somebody's right in front of you and you are hitting them in the face or the jaw or the ear. Ears are really good, especially get the other hand up there. and get that other ear. Um, then you've got the both ear things. It's just an idea, but you don't do it if you don't practice it. So it's making sure, because again, you always look at the person as being directly in front of you. You make sure that you cross your center line. You cross your nose, shall we say? That's right here. So this is also same as this. It's just going backwards, right? So this is just a trunk twist, really. So back and forth. That's a good one for somebody that's behind you or up at head level. Boom. Or up underneath the chin. But notice how I'm turning. I need to have this to have the strength. The biceps aren't going to help me if my body's not behind them. So I have to move to get the right positioning and to get any power. But one of my favorites is, let's say you did this one across their face, or maybe they dodged it or whatever. It's the going back part that can really, it's unexpected. You barely tapped them or missed them, and then you go back and poof, then you got that side. So it's a little tricky. And then if you do happen to get them in a position where they're bent over for any reason, let's say you tapped the groin area, going down, and that's where you can use gravity to help you. And you're just my legs are spread, and boom, and that gives me even more than just my weights on them. Everything's going with gravity helping me go down. But those are your elbows. You've got the ones here, 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 then front. Boom. Yeah, you can. Elbows go anywhere, and it's not just your elbow. It's up above it, down below it. Fingers are great for going, again, like I said, into the neck, into here. You can make somebody just their knees buckle just by going straight down right here. They will just buckle. And that's all close in stuff. And there are little weapons that I have or found, or it's in fact for you, Lori, you told me about that situation, so I thought I would have that with me. But so these these are products. Yeah, I'm going to eventually make my own. But for you and your audience now, I got this at Hobby Lobby. And it is perfect for a girl to have for self-defense. First off, it's wooden. So, but it's pretty pointy on the end. It's called a wooden slicker. Don't ask me what you do with it at Hobby Lobby. I think it has to do with yarn or knitting or a crochet. I don't know. But because of these little ridges in it, it gives you a good grip. You can put your thumb on top and you have a weapon. And it feels good in your hand too. I've got the more professional but it's no different. This was expensive. This was like under $5. So again, Hobby Lobby. You can find these little things at your local hobby shop. This, I'm going to turn into this. I'm creating it. But this only gives me an inch on either side, just about. This gives me a little bit more. And this is good for a jogger, somebody who wants to take a walk or whatever. They're alone and walking. So this is just to give you more oomph. This would be considered a two-sided weapon. But it's, again, wooden. I don't know what it is. I found it on the street. literally. Somebody suggested it could be a bobbin. I was thinking the back of a chair, wooden chair, and nobody can tell me what it is. And it's, I have no idea, but it's going to be something. Another little thing, and this would be a dangerous thing, but again, it's wooden, so this you could take on an airplane. This is just a set of 5 little bitty knitting needles, but it can either be a one-sided weapon again, or a two-sided. And when I put it in a rubber band, it feels better to hold. It's just and it wouldn't poke somebody's eye out if you've got a bunch of them. But I'm not looking to poke somebody's eye out. I'd rather do that with my hand. But no, I'm just saying that you can find little things to carry without dipping in and having to get out your credit card. I don't know. This was not expensive. I just put a rubber band around these things, and I don't know, a few cents maybe. But yeah, so there's a lot of things. I know that learned the hard way that stun guns are not legal there and where you are. So that's off the grid for y'all, but they have really come a long way. And as you know, the ones that I sell do look like
they're
lipstick.
beautiful. They're beautiful.
They are gorgeous. And they're they work. They work on people, and they do scare away animals. The sound of it is it freaks animals out. Even whether it's a coyote.
Can you open it up and show us how that works?
Sure. So it's all of them have flashlights. So
okay. Oh,
did you see it?
yeah. Oh,
yeah. It's loud, and I hadn't charged this one in a long time. So yeah, and the charge stays for a long time, and it just recharges. And these are fantastic. I think these would be great for real estate agents.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
showing houses. Let's say
Cab
there's an
drivers.
open house.
Yeah.
You have one of these in the master closet or the master bathroom. You put some of these in different rooms.
Yeah.
You've always got something there. It's just going to look like it belongs, right?
Right.
Wherever you put it. And or you hide it in a pocket. I don't know, but this is what I first thought of. My first stun gun I ever purchased. I thought of real estate. Thought of women who sell real estate. From the time they get those signs out of the trunk of their car until they put them back in the trunk of their car, they are vulnerable, and I don't like when that that happens. Now, there's loads of other things, and we'll also be teaching on Zoom, which I also already do for a few people, is teach your weapons classes, how to use these martial arts weapons that I have. This is a tumba, and it's a martial arts weapon, but I can use it this way, I can use it this way, or I can use it this way. So it's just to know how to do these things. The only thing you need to know about using it is just how to grip it. You grip tight when you want it to stop. Let it go. Do you want it to stop? It's just, it's not difficult. It just takes practice. But a lot of these things can be done. Even just having a stick, even just knowing how to play with a stick. Now, another director that we work with in GSFE, I'm teaching her how to use a bow staff, because she has trouble walking. She grew up Southside LA, or South, whatever, the bad part of LA, and years ago, and I'm teaching her what she's got a walking stick. So I'm teaching her how to use it, how to, turn it into something that will
Whoa.
hurt someone. It's but it's fun to do this training online because you're getting a little bit of exercise and having to move, right? Learn how to play with the stick, learn what to do with this thing. It's fun. See, this for me is fun. But yeah, I've got a whole bunch of little things down here that in my little room here. So much fun. Learn how to play with these. Yeah. Hey, you have this one weird friend, right?
No, that's great.
Yeah, I have fun. You've got drumsticks, you've got a weapon. Seriously.
Well, you know what I'm thinking right now, Debbie, is heaven help the person that tries to assault you in any way, shape, or form. I don't care how big they are, who they are. They would have no idea what they're dealing with.
Yeah,
You would be like the best kept secret in America.
I would just love one of the people, one of those boys from years ago, just one.
Just
I went
one.
to my 50th reunion recently and for high school. And oh boy, just if girls knew that the moves that they made dancing are really self-defense moves, you grab the arm, you go down on the elbow, and you break the elbow. I mean, it's so easy.
Mm-hmm.
Breaking fingers,
Yeah,
is very easy.
right.
Hand position, yeah, it's. I want girls to know what to do just in case, because
Right.
just in case happens far too often.
Right. So here's a little comment from Virginia Clark. When I first moved out on my own, my dad gave me a wooden Louisville Slugger baseball bat that I still keep by my bedside after 30 years. Thankful I haven't had to use it yet. Uh, wow.
That's great, Virginia. I have one that I keep in the passenger side behind my the 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 little place behind, where you would keep a map or something.
Oh, yeah, the
Behind the
pocket.
passenger seat.
Yeah.
So I can grab it if anybody comes to the driver door. I've got
Oh,
it
good
right
idea.
there. Yes, that's where my Louisville Slugger thingy is. But let me just also say that if it was the size of a bat and as heavy as a bat, a lot of people will keep that next to their bed. Not a good idea because it's too heavy. You would only get one slug, one shot in, because there's a reason baseball players are sitting like this and hitting like that. They're not running with it because it's too heavy. You're only going to get one swing, and then it's either going to be taken away from you or it's going to literally knock you to the ground because you've been running while carrying this thing and trying to swing it while moving. It's not meant for, you can't.
Well, I think I have one too, so I'm going to move it to my car.
Yeah, the little ones.
Oh no, this is full size.
Full size bat.
Yeah.
Oh, let me get you a Louisville, the little one. more.
Then I need a class on how to use it. Like, I've got the bat there, like Virginia, but I don't know how to use it.
Well, you got to know. The other thing I keep there is the end of a broomstick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just this long. My son was little when he started karate, and for his first bow staff, we just cut off a stick, a broomstick. So yeah, that's what I keep as well. Anything will work for that section, for that little pouch back there. And I always have something. I have something next to me in the car. Not that I think something's going to happen. It's all the just in case. And all that swings back to whoever thought this could happen N88 to my cousins. And these days we do have our cell phones. Just make sure that you have it charged. And yeah, because we still forget to put the gas in.
Yeah.
And I am going to end everything I do now with saying fill up. Whatever, fill it up. That's my reminder to everyone.
Here's a comment that Virginia made. She said, well, good to know, Debbie. Better make it a good first swing then.
Well, yeah, but don't be moving. Wait for the ball to come to you.
Right.
Or the person being the ball in that situation. Let the person come to you. If he's rushing at you, just stand there ready, just like you were standing there at the plate, because a bat is too heavy to try to move. Yeah. But I've got, and we should really train with this one.
Rubber knife.
Yeah. It's all about, somebody's coming at you like this. You're on the side of them and you grab that hand and lead it right down into their leg. I'm telling you, this stuff is easier than you would think, but it takes practice. And that's what I want to do, is start practice sessions. So let them ask your people what if they would like to do it. We'll do it. We'll see how what they think. Get a little training, and just see it. I would love to do that. Just move. Just start moving.
Those simple things. Just those simple.
Just things. Simple movements, and I could have people knowing what to do and strengthening different areas of their body, and doing it all to jazz.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't go anywhere without a ball, because every time I bounce that ball or squeeze the ball, super ball, I get a little stronger. My hands get a little stronger. I get a little more coordinated, and that's what I need to do.
Right.
If anybody has any ideas for me to get into middle schools and high schools, because that's where they need to learn self-defense. They have 21, some of them have anywhere from 20 to 25 electives for these kids. Not one of them is going to grow up and be a pro basketball or pro, even hockey, even though your friend was a pro hockey player. But most of these kids are learning sports that they have no intention of doing, or they're just that at. But I can teach girls self-defense. They will love it. And they will walk away from high school with a skill that will help them in college and on in life.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I have mentioned to you, when we've talked off the air and so on about our movement here in Canada to, within the Indigenous community, there's a huge movement towards missing and murdered Indigenous women, because statistically they are more frequently targeted here in Canada than any other female population. And many of them go missing, and some are found and some are not. Like it took 13 months for you guys to find your cousin. Like she was a missing person for 13 months. And so I see a big need in that community for something for what you have to offer. And I think it would be quite welcomed. And I'm going to move forward on that, because there's a huge need for protection and safety. And if I don't know even how to do that, how can I help myself? I can't. So I think we could put a class together for you fairly quickly for you to show us what it is you want to do. And then we go from there.
Yeah. If you like what you see, stick around. If you don't, that's okay too. But if you learn anything,
buy some. If you don't, go buy some knitting needles and knit an Afghan.
Or put on one of your favorite rock and roll albums.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, your fingers, everything's getting stronger when you do that. Plus, it's the rake of the eyes, anything going towards the face,
Right.
people out. It
Yeah.
just does.
Yeah.
You know, and if you know how to do it, if you could just whip those fingers, you're
Yep. Boom.
striking.
And I wasn't aware of this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just
When
get
you
back
think
to the
about that.
roots. So
Yeah.
so if you've ever seen Karate Kid,
Yeah.
that famous stance, I don't know if you can see me,
Yeah.
but that's White Crane. And that is from the Karate Kid movies. I mean, that's kind of the karate I do. It's all kind of circles.
Yeah.
'Cause that's how I get more power. You see, I'm coming this way to go this way.
Right.
It's like you're throwing a frisbee, boom, or you're playing golf, anything, but it's having the wind up. And anything you do that makes you get stronger and more coordinated is a good thing. And just keep that up. You will
Yeah.
see how good you get at
Right.
everything you do. You
Mhm.
get better.
Here's one of our viewers who's watching us live, Liz O'Neill. She's a friend of mine uh, in the States, and she's an author. I'm going to put a plug in for her right now. And I've had her on the show, and we're going to have her back. But she said this self-defense would be so important for Native American teens and women, and because she's picked up on uh, that culture as well, in terms of what can we do to help, what can we do to support, what can we do to you know help the movement forward. Yeah, missing and murdered Indigenous women.
And I would like
So,
to make it easier for girls to train and not have to go through the belt rankings and
yes,
formalities and
yes,
all that stuff and just learn what we need to know.
yeah,
That's, as far as I'm concerned, that's my purpose.
yeah,
And I don't want anybody who can't afford it to not get it because they can't afford it.
yeah,
That's always been my thing.
right, yeah,
And that that's what I'm out to do. And with your help, I could
Mhm.
probably do it because you've got the chutzpah to do anything.
Oh,
You that's where I'm lacking, is that the
that's
whole
okay, but I
getting
can't do
word
what
out.
you do. We all have our gifts, right? And I can't do what you do. So we're all gifted in different ways, and that just happens to be one of mine. And that's why I love doing the show, because it helps to promote, it helps to educate, motivate, inspire. Because I can't imagine that there's a woman watching this or who will be watching it that wouldn't want what you've got. So, because we're living in a very, very dangerous place right now. And people have no sense of right or wrong. I mean, if we were to look at the world right now and all the crime and the violence and people being shot in their own homes over $10, like it's the drugs, it's I mean, it's just unbelievable. And we need to be safe. Safety's first.
Guns aren't legal up there. I mean, can y'all
Oh,
have a
yes,
gun up there?
we
Yeah.
can have guns, but we have to have them registered, and you have to have, there's regulations around them now. So
Regulations.
if your gun is in the living room, you have to keep your ammunition in the basement. So, like what's the point?
Uh, yeah, I think here you can have whatever you want. Uh,
Yeah, I
it's
know.
it's gotten crazy. It's gotten scary.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
just
it's
glad
your
I'm not.
constitutional right to have bear arms. That's in your constitution.
It is,
Yeah.
but it's the concealed carry, or
Yeah.
you can even not conceal it and walk around. Not here. I've never seen it here, but in other places,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
Texas. It's
Oh, yeah.
uh
Yeah, for sure. All
yeah.
right. Well, you know what, Debbie? This is the fastest hour of my day, and our time is up. And I'm so grateful that you came back to give us the full meal deal. And we will certainly have you back again. And I'm going to invite you to come and do a bit of a presentation on our Monday night meeting. So, we gather as a group on Monday evenings, and I would love to have you come and just introduce yourself. We've got quite a few new people, and to just share who you are and talk about what you'd like to do and how we can help you with that.
Yes.
Okay.
I am
All
in.
right.
Anything you do, I am there.
You have to carry a PAL card. Okay, that's when you have a gun. You have to have a,
Oh,
they call it PAL. Okay.
okay.
And your gun is your pal. I guess that's what that means, Virginia. I don't know.
Your gun is
All
your
right. Well, you've been listening to the Today Show, our Wednesday wellness version with our special guest, Dr. Debbie Love, and who has taken some very complicated. Not very many of us would decide to go and do a karate class, but that doesn't mean we do not need to know how to stay safe and take care of ourselves. So, Debbie, I just love that transition from your credentialed part of you to making it simple and down to earth and layman's terms and making us feel and that we can do this.
girlfriend.
Exactly. All right. So tomorrow, Thursday, Veterans Day tomorrow. On Thursdays, we feature special communities, and so we have a bit of a panel tomorrow of people who provide services and programs for the veteran community. So we've got some. We're going to have like a panel of people to talk to us about what they have to provide for our vets. So that'll be an interesting and fun show to do. All right. So that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to our audience who've been here live today, and also to all of you that are going to watch down the road. And the only thing we ask in return is that you share the show. The show is streaming live right now on my Facebook page, my personal page, Lori Davis. And go in there and share the show, because there may be somebody who needs to hear what Debbie had to say today. Even if there's just one little tip, imagine that could save somebody's life. So let's not underestimate the value of the information that we put out there every day, every day, every day. Great stuff. Great stuff. I'm so proud of the show. And I'm really proud of all of my guests and people who have supported us, and our sponsors, and now our potential advertisers. Okay, so have a great rest of the day, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Stay cool.